everybody, DeathsStalker here. So today I thought I'd talk about my recent experience with computers. Now a little caveat here is that I've owned and worked on computers since way back in the DOS 5 era, which is before Windows 95, 98, Windows ME, Windows NT, Windows XP, Vista, so forth and whatnot. So I've got a fair bit of experience with them. Now, when I first started out, I used to pay a lot of attention to computers simply because I was a database programmer and you actually had to know a lot of the hardware. But there are people in the world, like people who basically work on hardware, that can tell you anything and everything you want to know about the hardware. And later on, it just became easier just to talk to them than to try to keep up. So I don't really keep up on what the latest video cards are, monitors, whatnot. When I just decide that it's time to upgrade, I either talk to one of my uber nerds who can let me know what's good and, or more importantly, what sucks and don't touch, or I just do a little research on the internet. So back to my computer. Well, if you're a vlogger, you have to edit your video, and the one thing my computer was not great at was rendering, simply because it's not the fastest thing around. Like, it's a good computer, but it doesn't have a powerful card. But what actually happened was I was having a problem with my monitor. Now, it is an LCD monitor, but it's kind of an old one. To give you an idea how old it is, it actually had a VGA connection. For those of you that don't know what VGA is, it's what they used to use on those big picture tube monitors, about 200 years ago. So it didn't owe me anything, so it was time to upgrade. And got looking around and actually found a nice 4K monitor, which was on sale. And I've upgraded my cameras this year to the new Sony cameras, and the one of them I have is actually a 4K monitor, so it would be nice, or sorry, one of them is actually a 4K camera, so it would be nice to actually have a monitor that I can actually look at the video to see how it actually looks in 4K. So I bought it, and the interesting thing was it actually had a different connection on the back, something called a DP connector, which I looked it up. It's okay, that's what you use for monitors, not a biggie. So my video card in the back of my computer only had HDMI, DVI, and VGA on the back. Now the HDMI I actually used on my television, so I needed to get a new video card. So another crap load of research, looking at different cards and whatnot, and I began to realize this is not going to be as easy as I thought it was. So I ended up going to a local computer store, which is, pretty good, Canada Computers, and talked to the guy, and with the information I'd gotten from the internet and from a couple of my friends, I knew I was looking for the capability of my current motherboard and CPU, something in the neighborhood of 4 to 6 gig of RAM. But the problem was, the more I looked into it, I realized that it was going to be an issue with power supply, because the new video cards require more power, and power supply I had in my computer, although it was adequate, it didn't actually have the proper power connector for my video card I was looking at. And it was like, okay, so I'm used to this from renovating an old house, by the way, people, so I don't usually get too worried about it. So we looked at power supplies, and they had a reasonably good unit that was actually on sale for a couple weeks, and it would fit in my current box and had all the connectors I needed. So it was like, okay, cool, I get that. And while I was there, I thought RAM's actually dropped in price, so I actually got another 8 gig of RAM, so it brings my computer up to 16, which actually will speed up a little bit. Look at that. Look at all these Harleys waving at me. Snowcat, it must be you. It must be. Anyways, back to our story. So, get back to my my house, and I've done this enough before not to know enough not to throw everything in the box at once and then turn it back on. So, did the RAM, made the computer happy, did the power supply, made certain the computer was happy. Oh, and the funny part about the power supply is the actual cables they connect everything to now look like undersea telephone cables, because they're thick as your thumb and they're not very flexible. So try squeezing those into a mini tower. Now the video card. I've installed video cards before, and I know they can be a pain. So I followed the instructions, installed it, and I kept getting this error message for this software, which I was sort of like wondering what the heck's going on here, because I didn't even recognize that software. And did a bunch of looking on the internet, and they said you have to upgrade the software to make your video card function properly. So I go online, look for the software, and it was discontinued 2 years ago. It's like, okay, now I'm confused. So did a search, found the software, uninstalled it, and the gods of hell were unleashed on me. My video card basically had a psychotic episode. Lost the monitor on my computer. It just basically went black, couldn't get it back. Eventually had to reopen the computer up in safe mode. You know, basically a whole shitload of dicking around trying to get this sucker to work. And ended up, what I had to do was actually physically take my old video card out. Oh, sorry, physically had to take the new video card out of the box, put the old video card back in the computer, restart everything, go through the computer with the old video card in, and basically uninstall every driver, anything related to videos on that computer. And then I could install a new card. So I did that, and we ended up getting the new card was all good and happy. Now the interesting thing about this is the fact that the software that was causing the problem, I had to go look for it and find out something about it, was actually on my computer 2 video cards ago. Like, basically it was put on in 2011, and the video card in question that it was on there had actually failed and got replaced. And surprisingly, the next video card never had a problem with this software, but the new card was very unhappy with this software that wasn't even being used. And I'm just sort of starting to question the quality of the programming we're starting to see nowadays, because I'm seeing more and more of that, where it's like they're shipping things out that are broken or not quite finished, and they hope that it may or may not work on your computer. And it just, something, as someone who used to do it for a living, I'm seeing a lot of mistakes that are happening that shouldn't be happening, but it seems to be the new day and age. Now, the new card actually still has problems. It's incredibly annoying, and hopefully someday they'll actually fix it and make it go away, but there's no guarantee of that. So anyways, this is what I have been dealing with for the last week and a half. Luckily I have I've had enough videos preloaded that it wasn't too big of a deal, and this actually is the first video you're seeing done with the new video card, the new video new video card, new monitor, and the RAM all working together. So anyways, I'm out for a ride to relax for a change, so DeathsStalker signing off.